The angles are the same and the sides are the same. Everything is the same. Good, take a point. Now, the order you write the angles matters. So if I wrote BAC, if I went 1, 2, 3, how would I have to go over here? 1, 2, 3. So if I said BAC, how would I write it for this triangle? JHK. Yes, good. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If I said HKJ, 2, 3, 1, if I said HKJ, what's it congruent to? ACB. Yes, good. Take a point. Does anybody have any questions on that? Do we need to pause class for y'all, or y'all ready now? Okay, great. All right, so on this one, well, let's start with our first one. We said that one rainbow was congruent to one rainbow. Why?
Because they're both
They both have one rainbow, and that makes them congruent. Holy potatoes. And two tickies is congruent to two tickies. Why? They both have two tickies. It is not rocket science. Now, on this one, why did we name our angles with 3 letters?
because they're a triangle.
Well, and they're connected, right? So we see how our triangles are connected. We were checking that to make sure that we could label the right angle correctly. Now, let's look at number 4, which is supposed to be your homework. And I see some of us didn't do it. And I'm so proud that you really want to pass my class. Thank you, baby.
There's only one thing.
That's what she's saying. If you didn't do it, then that's just ridiculous.
Did you do it?
And that's just ridiculous. Okay, so let's start and look at this guy. So we're going to start by saying that angle A is congruent to which angle? Angle D, because they both have how many rainbows? One rainbow. Now I'm going to name my 2 rainbows. My 2 moon rainbows. Now let's start with this triangle, the bottom triangle. How would I name that rainbow, or that angle, with 2 rainbows? Well, we have to name it with 3 points because they're connected, right?
CBA.
So if I wanted to say CBA, good, Ms. Arrow, I said angle CBA is congruent. Now notice, he went 3, 2, 1. So what do we have to do on the other one? 3, 2, 1. So let's look at that. And we said CBA, and we went 3, 2, 1. So how are we going to name this one? B. Go, I'm telling you, take a point. I'm so proud. Now, does everybody see how we got those?
Yes.
Is anybody confused?
No.
You're good?
Yes.
Okay. Eric, can you see, or do I need to zoom in some? Okay, are you sure? Alright, now let's look at, we did 2 rainbows. Let's do 3 rainbows. How do we want to name our one side 3 rainbow?
CBA.
We need 3, baby. So this needs to be the middle. We're doing 3 rainbows. So it would be BCA or ACB. Which one do you want to do?
ACB.
Alright, so we went 1, 3, 2. Does everybody see the difference between this angle down here and this angle up here? Okay, we went 1, 3, 2. So what are we going to have to do on the other one? 1, 3, 2. Oh,
So it's gonna be
it's on your paper. So it's going to be what?
DBC.
DBC. Good. Take a point. Does anybody have any questions so far? Are we on the same page? We're just naming our congruent parts, right? Okay, now let's start with our tickies because we have to name the angles and the sides. So let's say AB. I went from 1 rainbow to 2 rainbows. So how would I name it in the other triangle? I went 1 to 2, so what would I have to do over here? 1 to 2, which is DC. No. Now, let's look at 2 tickies. I'm going to go from 1 to 3. I'm going to say AC, 1 to 3. So how would I name it on the other side?
1 to 3.
DB. Is everybody with me on how we're getting these points?
Yes.
Are we sure? If you are confused, speak now, because when is our test? Wednesday. Jeremiah, are you with us?
Go.
Y'all need to get him up or you're going to lose points.
Jeremiah, big dog.
Big dog.
Do you need to stand up? Are you sure? Because if you're going to sleep in class like you're 5 and have nap time, then I can treat you like that. Okay. All right, what about BC on the bottom triangle? 2 to 3. BC is congruent to what? CB. Why would it be CB? You went 2 to 3. It's crazy. Do you think you can answer problem number 5 without me? Okay, do number 5 without me. I want to see what you can do. Taylor, are you naming these angles? Okay. Making sure you're with me. Are we ready or do we need a mo? Okay, no rush. Are we ready now? Put it in the tray, please. Thank you, sir. All right, angle EFI is congruent to what angle? GFH. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
All right, angle G is congruent to? Look at us go.
I'm smart.
They both have 90-degree angles.
Why did you say that?
Mister. They both have 90-degree angles.
You like it with whatever it's
Let me call it the same.
Are you sure? Okay. All right. Angle H is congruent to angle I. FG is congruent to FE. Oh, I'm so proud, y'all. I am so proud. GH is congruent to EI. Y'all better rock these on your test or I'm probably going to have a heart attack. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. FH is congruent to FI. Okay. So then triangle FGH is congruent to triangle. Oh, I'm so proud. And the top drawer of your tower or a baby worksheet that we're going to do real quick. We're going to do 3 problems from it and the rest is homework. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Pass one to everybody. I need one. That's your next page. Thank you so much.
Zara, you have one more.
Does anybody need an extra before I sit down? Okay.
Thank you, I already got it. I'm about to play with you.
I already got the look. I'm going to be interested in the extra now.
Wait,
Who else needs an extra? Nobody? Okay, awesome. Good talk. Put it in the fourth grade tray. Thank you. All right, so let's look at the different sections on here. Number 1. Woo. Hi, please get out. 1, 2, and 3 are the same, so we're going to do one of these. 4 and 5 are just like what we did in these examples, so we're not going to do one of those. And we're going to do one of these. Does everybody understand? Okay, so let's look at number 1. The order matters. The order matters. The order matters. So it says that triangle DEF is congruent to triangle KJI. Right? So what would F be congruent to? I. Oh my gosh, you're so smart.
I know, right? We're doing better.
All right? I'm like super proud. I need y'all to be this smart all the time.
Okay, we'll think about it.
We will try and put forth effort. There we go. All right, what about E?
J.
J. Oh, we need to put the angle symbol. What about D? Angle K. Good. What about FD? IK. Why is it IK and not KI?
Oh, it's backwards.
Because it's backwards. Good. All right, what about DE? KJ. I taught a KJ. What about EF? JI. Do we need to do another one, or are we good?
I mean,
Let's
just
do
like
the
one
other
more.
three for homework.
I'm just a little confused because we ain't got the pictures and we just doing the letters.
Right, they're in the position that it tells you. So do you see how F and I are in the same position listed? Okay. And do you see how E and J are in the same position?
Yeah.
And D and K? That's why they're congruent. So remember when we wrote that the order matters? We wrote up here in our little squiggy thingy that the order matters? That's why I wrote that. Alright, number 4 you can do without me, but let's look at number 6. It says mark the angles and sides of each pair of triangles to indicate that they are congruent. So it says that triangle BDC is congruent to MLK. So we're going to use rainbows, and we're going to put one rainbow on angle B. What matches up with angle B? Angle M. So we're going to put one rainbow on M.
Why?
Because the order says triangle BDC, and this says triangle MLK.
Okay.
Alright, what about angle D? How many rainbows are we going to put on it?
2.
2. And what does it match up with?
Angle L.
Alright, what about C? How many rainbows?
3.
And what matches with it?
K.
Are you ready to put tickies?
Yes.
Does anybody need another moment? Okay. Are you ready now? Okay. Alright, so we're going to start with BD, and we're going to put one ticky. So if we have BD, what matches up with BD? ML. Put one ticky on that. Does everybody see why?
Yes.
Okay. What about DC? 2 tickies, and what matches with DC? LK. That's my niece's initials. And BC would match up with MK. Dun, 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 dun. You know I can hear you. Are we ready? So I want you to finish the rest for homework, which you're actually going to have time to do at the end of class. Let's go back to our notes, flip it over, and look at number 6. Can you do that one without me? Super fast.
Yes.
Do it. Go. Chop, chop. Be like ninja fast ninjas.
Sometimes in my homework.
Don't be thieves. You heard that, right? Okay.
Especially with you.
You should be doing this problem.
I know.
Why don't you label your pages? Why did you not put it on the right page?
Why are you trying to kill me? You show in the middle on 18. Is this page?
Yes.
I'm done.
You ready?
What is IE? Like, what would we convert?
To IE. So you went from I to E, right?
Oh,
So what would you?
I feel so dumb.
Don't feel dumb.
I was doing the other. I felt like I don't know.
No, Eric.
You're smart.
Okay, well that was sarcastic and hateful. So. All right, what's angle E congruent to? Hello. H. Good. Take a point. What's segment FE congruent to? GH. What is EFI? HGI. That's what I'm talking about, children. What about FI? GI. What about FIE? And IE? IH. Good job. Alright, now let's look at the last part of what we're going to do before we get our study guide and talk about labeling it. Number 7. It says in the diagram, triangle ITP is congruent to NGO. Find the values of X and Y. So if the parts are congruent, what do we do with those measurements? You set them equal because they're congruent. That means they're equal. If they're congruent, you set them equal. So let's start by finding Y because we can't find X and Y together. So it says ITP is congruent to NGO. So what angle is O congruent to? So let's put 1 moon on O, 1 moon on P. So if those two angles are congruent, what does that mean that 6y minus 14 is equal to? 40. Is everybody with me on what I just did? It says that the triangles are congruent, therefore the parts are congruent, so we can set them equal. When they're congruent, you set them equal. Don't add them, set them equal. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Now, what do I do from here? Add 14. And if you need to write, still adding 14. There is no judgment. We are all God's children. We are doing what we do. Now, what do we do from here? Divide by. And y equals? Awesome. Divide by 6, y'all. Okay, now we need to find x as well, right? So what segment is NG congruent to? IT. So what would we set x minus 2 times, what does y equal? 9 equal to? 7.5. Awesome, because those two segments are congruent. Is everybody with me on what I did? Why did I plug in 9 for y? Because that's what y is. Y equals 9, that's what we do. Alright, what's 2 times 9? So we have x minus 18 equals 7.5. And then what do we do from here? Is there any judgment if we still need to write plus 18? No. And what's 7.5 plus 18? 25.5. And we're done with our problem. Was that super difficult?
No.
We're going to do one more together. We're going to do number 8 together. Then you're doing 9 and 10 without me before you get your study guide. We ready? Okay, let's go crazy. Alright, so in the diagram, it says, does anybody have any questions on 7 before we go any further? Are you sure? Speak now, children. Alright, it says triangle FHJ. FHJ is congruent to HFG. Find the values of x and y. So what would 6x plus 8 be equal to? 35. Those are alternate interior angles, as well as corresponding, based on the triangles. Alright, what would we do from here? Subtract 8. And what's 35 minus 8?
27.
And then when we divide by 6, what does x equal?
4.5.
4.5. Good. Take a point. Does everybody see how we got that? Alright, let's find y. What are we going to set 2y minus 3 equal to? 2.5. And we're not afraid of decimals, are we? Alright, what would I do from here? Why would I add? What? Why would I add? Because it's subtraction. Thank you for someone answering me. Take a point. And that gives you 5.5. And then what would I do from here? And what does y equal? 2.75. Who got that? Take a point. Can you do 9 and 10 without me? You can. Do 9 and 10. Chop, chop. Time for you to do 9 and 10.
Yeah, no chips. When she slapped you, cuz. Don't do it yourself.
This is my ex.
Hey, can you come check Naya?
Yep.
Please.
You can already do that one. What kind of angles are those? Right angles. So, look at you go. I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
90 and 35.
Because what kind of angles are those?
So we
90 and 35
minus
for 125.
No, X and that other angle. What kind of angles are those?
Right
Vertical angles.
So we
Did you want to get stay again?
These one and these one are vertical angles. That means they're congruent. Yep. They're vertical angles, right? You told me when these are vertical angles. These two here are vertical angles. Yeah, so if this is vertical, that makes sense.
I got 25.
you go check this.
I said it's on like 3.
Very good. Check your teeth when they're done.
We done?
They go there. And then what are you going to do with that from there? It's a triangle, right? So what are you going to do? What's the measure of a triangle? Kind of.
Can you come check?
You did it right. You got 55? Yeah.
Can you come check?
I'm so proud of you.
I got y equals 23.
No.
3y equals 21, so these equal to each other. So congruent.
It's sides, it shouldn't say degree. They're side lengths, right? And they're in the same position? That means they're congruent. So what do you do with them when they're congruent? Alright, so this angle and this angle are congruent. So that means you could do this two ways. You could do x plus 35 equals 90, because this 90 means that there's only 90 degrees left over. Or you could add them all up and subtract from 180. Therefore, x is 55. I think, Eric, you did it a different way. What did you do? Okay.
I got 90. I just added 35 and 19.
And subtracted from 180? Okay. So he did 90 plus 35, subtracted it from, he got 125. And then 180 minus 125 is 55. Can anybody help me set up number 10? Alright, Raven.
Okay, so you do 3y equals 21.
3y equals 21, and you divide and you get y equals? Dun dun dun. Alright, let's look at our study guide. This first section is page 24A. So I expect you to use your notebook on this. Excuse me. The second section is also page 24A. Did I not put it on y'all's tower?
You said 724.
Sorry. I got excited because I went over there to the other table, so sorry. Alright, the next section is 24A as well. 13, 14, and 15 are also page 24A. And the last one, 16, is 24B. Turn it over. We're not done. I don't know why you're up. This is 24B. 18 and 19 are page 25. This is page 26A. And this is 26B. Don't do number 24 on the back.
So stretch it out.
Just don't do it.
Can we go through your two?
No, when the bell rings.
What's 20?
26A. Hey, you got to get the first page done tonight for homework.
That's different.